different format than the panel discussion. In the panel discussion, we have a theme, we have moderator. The whole conversation is guided in a way. It takes on a life of its own, of course, but in some way it is guided. You are also responding to other people who are saying. In Expert Bites, we have got some stalwarts coming in, sharing their insights, experiences, and what they are working on. Each one has a 5 minute slot, and we are looking at getting an insight into their head in those 5 minutes. So we have got Rohit Tripathy, we have got Nikhil Kulkarni. Ramesh Iyer unfortunately was not able to join us today, and we also have Karnika, also known as Key. Very interesting name, Key. So we'll go in that order. We'll first invite Rohit to share his insights, and to invite Rohit, I just go through his introductions because I need to tell you the kind of profiles we have got in today, right? So, talking about Rohit, Rohit is a blockchain innovator, right? Created a company incorporated on the blockchain, created simplest smart contract and token systems. He created the first inter-blockchain messaging system purely on Web 1 of only assured returns, and it was all about assured returns, Bitcoin based financial product, and it was solving the economic system issues which are there, economic systems currently. So, Rohit, I don't understand half of it. I am a complete Web3 newbie, so I am going to hand over the stage to you so that you can educate me and, of course, also share your insights with the rest of the world watching out there. So just again, a quick reminder to people on the platform now, on both sides, we have got the Zoom platform where we have got our speakers, and we have got the virtual conference platform where we have the entire audience. So over to you, Rohit.
Fantastic. Thank you, Hemant. And just remind me when my 5 minutes are over because I will lose track of time otherwise. And I'm in Philippines. In the morning, I was in Cebu. I went to the place where Ferdinand Magellan was murdered. It was interesting to see that. Then in the afternoon, I took a boat, hopped over to an island, and from that island, and I took a bike, crossed half of Bohol Island, and right now I'm with you. So just remind me when 5 minutes are over. All right. So Ranchi Mall, we have been in blockchain for more than 10 years now, and I personally has been in blockchain and crypto for 12 years. And we are just not talking, but we're doing. I mean, we're doing for 12 years now. And name a problem, and we have had to face those problems. And so what I want to say first is the current problem that we are solving. And the current problem that we are solving in blockchain is essentially an economic problem. So what has happened over the last 10 and 12 years is we have found massive resistance both from government and banks. And the only way to solve this is essentially to create a mechanism where you don't need governments and you don't need banks, yet you want all the benefits of blockchain to show itself, which means people should be able to contribute. That contribution has to lead to creation of money. That money should be exchangeable to real world money like dollars and Indian rupees, and people should be able to receive those money and then pay the taxes as well. So you don't want to create a mechanism where people are forced into a system where they're automatically non-compliant to multiple things, which is what the current situation is. So this is the problem that we're trying to solve. And what we have realized, and this is the problem that we are working on right now. And what we have realized is to solve this, you got to reinvent barter. So what used to happen in barter, if there were two islands, one island had banana and other island had coconuts, they could simply exchange bananas against coconuts. And this did not require any amount of money transfers to happen. And if money transfers are not there, then you will not have money laundering, anti-money laundering issues. You will not have terrorist financing issues, and you will also have proof of contribution, which if someone has given a banana and that banana is being recorded in a ledger or blockchain ledger somewhere, then you could always say that this guy gave banana and that's why his wealth has originated from the system, and then you can prove it to the government whenever government is ready that uh, the wealth is legitimate. It has not originated from a hacker group, or it has not originated from a terrorist group. So that's a very important. That's very important part of thinking process that we are going through, and there are a couple of ways where you can easily do that. We all, like, if someone who works for salary, for instance, he is converting his efforts into money. So that's kind of a barter, like you are giving your own efforts, and that efforts are getting into converted into money. Or if you educate, you educate someone, and someone gives you fees for it. That's also effort to money. So what we have to do, and I'm telling you the problem that we are trying to solve. What we have to do is to get people to just contribute, and that contribution has to come in terms of real contributions, not monetary contributions. And in fact, monetary contributions has to be disabled, because the moment you allow monetary contribution, then all the questions would come. What was the source of funding? What was the whether the funds were legitimately acquired? And there's no way to be sure of that in an open system like blockchain. So that's the problem we are solving. The second problem that we are solving is, how do you now, suppose you have all these contributions, and that contribution is leading to some token, and the token has got some initial valuation because of the mechanism that I just told. How do you make sure that as the operation of the companies keeps on growing over a period of time, those contributions should keep on, I mean, the valuation of the token should mathematically should be growing. So that's the next problem. Because what's happening right now, all the tokens which are there in the market, and all the tokenization projects which has happened, most of them have lost value at some point of their operations. And in fact, majority of the projects have lost more than 90% of the value. And the real problem is that they were all riding on what I call is the Bitcoin wave. When Bitcoin goes up, they all go up. When Bitcoin falls, they all fall down. And the whiplash is pretty harsh there. So that's the problem that we are solving right now. However, I like to say that it was not easy just to get to the stage to solve these two problems I told you, these two economic problems. We have had to solve in Ranchi Mall over last 12 years, or 10 years, the problem of just getting the basic blockchain working. I mean, if most of the people find wallets hard, most of the people find seed phrases hard, and our challenge was to how to create a blockchain platform where you could simply have something like a user password, nothing more than that, and put it somewhere, and you should have all the blockchain addresses and all the blockchain wallets and all whatever blockchain you do on the web without installing any wallet. So that problem, I can tell you that we have solved it. And Ranchi Mall is the only firm in the world that you take a private key, and we our starting blockchain was Flow blockchain. You take any private key that you can generate on the web, and that private key will automatically give you addresses on all the top 50 blockchains that are present in the world. So that problem we have really solved. Another problem that we really had to solve over the last 12 years is getting people to work remotely, because we realized that if you want to create a blockchain is blockchain is a phenomena which is enabling global energies to come together. And if you want global energies to come together, then you also have to have a mechanism where where it should not be possible that any single like people should be able to work, and people should be able to know who those work has to be properly valued, and those work has to really add to the whole system value. And that we found very hard to do, because usually people work only when there's a carrot and stick, and in our case there's no stick essentially. So we just have a certain assignment and we want to expect people to do it, and we that was years in making before we got that part right. So now we did get that right. All the technology that we have built has been built on remote people working remotely together, and none of them were being monitored for how much time they're working. We just gave them assignments, fixed targets, and whenever they came back, we just moved ahead with that. And so that was really hard for us to get that. And now I would like to say that what are the other things that we should not do? I mean, what of our experience for the last 10 and 12 years, what are the things that you should not do going forward for tokenization? and blockchain. And I think the mistake that all of us are making is we are taking guidance from the past successes of company like Microsoft and Google and even Apple. Like we're trying to create platforms. We are trying to create financial firms like Goldman Sachs. Okay, that's not going to work in blockchain because blockchain is decentralized and we have no instance of decentralized systems in the financial space ever doing anything. So you have to invent that from scratch. You have to invent the philosophical concepts. We have to invent the mechanisms. You have to do the experiments from scratch. And you cannot expect that you build a platform and someone and come and make a killer app for you. That's really dangerous because we are talking about money, and you will have 90 hackers for 10 good people coming in the system. So you as a platform creator or you as a blockchain system a system provider, you will have to yourself solve the last mile problem as to what that killer app is going to be. And you cannot just be either technology or finance. You have to do both technology as well as finance. So the other thing that what we realized that what we had to do, and I guess this has to be true for other people, is you will not get mass acceptance straight away because these concepts are very foreign to people. These are not very easy. So you have to create something which is viable at 5 users, and it should increase as the viability should increase as the number of users are increasing. So these are some of I just shared some of the work that we are doing and some of the problems that we had solved, and that's from me, Hemant.
Thank you. Thank you, Rohit. That was very insightful. Talked about quite a journey that you have taken, and in some ways, the blockchain journey in the country and around. So I'll straight away call in our next expert, Nikhil. Nikhil Kulkarni is a visionary entrepreneur and technology leader with over 2 decades of experience building and scaling innovative ventures with global impact. His journey spans pioneering platforms like Trip Darwin, which is an early leader in personalized travel, to Book Protocol, bringing blockchain driven transparency to travel distribution, and now Trav Protocol, where he's helping businesses leverage AI agents to transform the customer experience. Before his entrepreneurial journey, he spent over a decade at KPMG advising global enterprises on digital strategy, cybersecurity, and large scale tech transformation. We were at KPMG together, and I still remember that he was the go-to guy for the partners when somebody else or anyone else would not be able to solve a problem. Right, so he had created that niche for himself at KPMG. Today, he continues to shape the future as a co-founder, advisor, investor, and mentor, supporting the next generation of innovators while driving cutting edge solutions at the intersection of technology and real world impact. Please join me in welcoming Nikhil. Over to you, Nikhil.
Thank you, Hemant, and August company here. So glad to share the stage with Rohit. To be honest, I should credit Rohit with my initiation into the blockchain world. Rohit has been a guide, a mentor since a long time, and it was he was the first person who probably exposed me to the blockchain and what it could do. And then, as my sort of background has been always wanted to look at how some of these technologies can be applied to the real world, and that's how chanced upon the whole world of I would say uh, the hospitality world specifically, but travel world in general. And that's where we started thinking about how can we apply the concepts of decentralization and what is the real advantage of decentralization and blockchain to the travel world. Now, one important thing that I want to stress is that travel as a field is by default global. Like unlike finance, for example, if you look at finance is still balkanized into every central bank at a time. You have the US, which is Federal Reserve. You have India, which is Reserve Bank of India. You have Singapore, which is MAS. Like every part of the world, every fintech company has to fall under some or the other central bank jurisdiction. But when you think of travel, there is no global regulator. There cannot be a global regulator because travel by default is about connecting two parts of the world. So what happens here is that one, there is no global regulator, which is an opportunity, but it is also a challenge because how do you define global standards? It's very difficult to define global standards. And Therefore, what happens is that there is a huge web of suppliers that are trying to provide services in the travel world. There is a huge web of consumers. And when I say consumers, you're not just talking about the end traveler. There is a plethora of people in the supply chain in between, starting from the ones that are very visible to you, like the apps, the OTAs, the booking.coms of the world, the Expedias of the world. But also there are millions of what is called destination management companies. There are millions of travel agents out there, and all of them are accessing some or the other piece of information from someone. Some travel agent may have a direct contract with a hotel. A travel agent sitting in India can have a direct contract with a hotel in Europe. A travel agent sitting in Dubai might have a direct contract with a hotel in India. They can also be having access to certain global inventory systems like GDS. There is a concept called GDS, Global Distribution Systems, which originally distributed airlines, but now they distribute hotels, airlines, even some of them deal with attractions. So now the problem is the mesh is extremely complex. There are too many intermediaries. Some of the intermediaries are good. Some of the intermediaries probably are parasites, just adding to the cost of what you consume. How do you get an interoperable system working here? How do you bring transparency? And that is exactly where we thought blockchain could come in. We realized that if we were able to tokenize the different kinds of travel assets and you could bring them on the blockchain, you could start building some level of transparency in the supply chain. I'm not talking about transparency necessarily in terms of pricing. There are many complex problems in this world, in the travel world. Fragmentation of information is one complex area. Lack of interoperability is another problem area. Lack of pricing information is another area. Now, as a traveler, everybody would love to have the cheapest possible price. But maybe giving the traveler the cheapest possible price is not exactly optimal for the industry as a whole. But at the same time, it definitely means that any kind of transparency can make the system more efficient. So I may not be able to bring down prices. I may still be selling at the same prices that they are selling for, but I will be able to bring in better transparency, better efficiency in the system. For example, I don't know if some of you had this experience that you turn up at the hotel front desk and you've had a booking from booking.com or Expedia or Make My Trip or one of these guys, but the hotel front desk says, sorry, sir, we can't place your booking. We don't know where it is. I can see your confirmed voucher, but I don't have the booking with me. And why does that happen? It simply happens because the supply chain is broken. There is no transparency in the system. And that is exactly what we thought we could do with the blockchain. So we've been building book protocol wherein we are saying the objective is to tokenize every travel asset at the time of booking and then throughout the supply chain all the way till it gets consumed, which means till you check into the hotel, till you fly onto that plane, till you visit that attraction. It will be a one seamless tokenized inventory which will be available on the blockchain. And that transparency that it brings in, it will give you a lot of advantages. Some of the direct advantages that we could think of was you could resell this inventory, and you could reselling happens even today. Even today, the travel agent, when he's selling you a hotel room, you are actually the travel agent has bought it from somebody else, and that somebody else is most likely bought it from somebody else. There are probably 2 to 3 transactions that have already happened. But if you brought transparency into this chain, it would mean better pricing. It would also mean situations like the one that I just mentioned wouldn't happen, because the hotel would be referring to the same tokenized record on the blockchain that the buyer has been referring to, that the travel agent who sold to the buyer has been referring to. So those are the advantages that the whole blockchain would bring, tokenization would bring to the travel and hospitality industry. And then as we move into the AI world, what advantages we are talking about, what efficiencies we are talking about, they become basic hygiene requirements for travel based AI agents to operate. Because AI is a computer system. Now, if you give travel AI agents a fuzzy system, like I have a fuzzy contract with a hotel saying, yes, this is the rate contract that I have. If the hotel room is available on the date that I try to book, then I will be able to give you the booking. That fuzzy contract doesn't work with the AI agent. AI agents need a lot more certainty. They need a lot more transparency. And they also need to understand this data in a much more black and white manner so that they can operate. So when we start thinking about bringing AI agents, and there is a huge amount of chatter online about AI agents, about all the OTAs getting disrupted. Chat GPT is doing the hotel bookings and flight bookings for you and planning your itinerary. Well, they can plan the itinerary, they can come up with the best of itineraries for you, but how are they going to complete the transaction on your behalf? To complete the transaction on your behalf, you're going to require two things. One, you are going to require money movement through the AI agent, which is a problem that a lot of fintech or Web3 DeFi startups are already solving, wherein AI agents can have access to your wallet and they can spend money on your behalf. But the other problem in the travel world is travel inventory. You can send money to your travel agent through your wallet, but how do you receive the booking in your wallet? And to receive the booking on your wallet, you need to tokenize the booking. And that is exactly the problem that we've been at it, trying to solve it. We've been, I would say, largely from a technology perspective, the technology platform level problems have been solved. Where we are today is we are trying to get adoption of this market. We are trying this market to adopt these the tokenized booking concepts, both from the supplier side as well as from the buyer side. And as I think Rohit has said a lot about it, that you're not going to get product market fit on day zero. You're not going to get adoptability of your product very soon, and that's precisely the challenge that we have also been struggling with for all this while. We are at it, we are working on it. But yes, hopefully, if not now, but in a couple of years from now, you will see when you book a hotel, that booking will go and sit on the blockchain with or without your knowledge, and your money will move from your wallet to the hotel's wallet, again with or without your knowledge, through the blockchain. That's the future that we are building the tech for.
Thank you, Rishikesh. Thank you, Nikhil. And while you were speaking, I was thinking that what Rohit talked about, what you have talked about, there are always a few mad people in the world who are ahead of their times, building for the future, and they are less misunderstood, but more not understood at all. And hence, as they say, your idea was too early for its time. So yes, we
Yeah.
hope that the idea soon catches on. Anyway, we are seeing that the rate of change and the pace of change has drastically accelerated. The amount of change happening, whether we see in the last 3 years and year by year, very closely in future, we should be reaching the point where we are saying quantum computing becomes a reality. It will skyrocket. So all the groundwork that is being done over the past few years, past 2 decades, will all come to fruition suddenly. So with that,
And
let
Hemant,
invite.
just before you go, I just want to say one thing. I have known Nikhil when he was a student in then NITI, now Indian Institute of Management, Mumbai. And when he was a student, I had known that this guy has talent and he has exceptional talent. And I've maintained touch with him since then, and he has been part of Ranchi Mall from the start. He's one of the original investors of Ranchi Mall. And what I would like to say is that the work that he has done, not many people understand, but I do understand what he is doing. And I'm very proud of the work that he has done, which will be seen in future. It's exceptionally high quality work, and it's better than all the work that he has previously done, including in KPMG.
Thank you. Thanks,
Thank
Rohit.
you,
Thank you
Rohit.
for the kind
Coming
words.
coming from you, that has got a lot of weight. Thank you. Thank you.